Are you gonna open this up with one of those good jokes again?
No.
All right, now it's live. Sweet.
Who's on HTB? What's up, boys?
What's up? How they got hacked? Episode 10?
10.
10. With new lights for learning how to use the studio properly.
There you go.
So it's getting there.
For all you people out there that constantly complain about, I can't see you guys. Well, now you can see us.
Now you can see us. We got glowy lights and all that stuff.
Lights.
Hey, looks, it says I have an excellent connection. Awesome.
There you go.
We got people from Israel. We got...
Oh my God, are you a part of 8300? Or is it 8200?
What is that Israeli...
8200.
8200?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hardcore. I like those guys a lot.
That's that whole group. Anyone have any idea what's going on in the background there?
It's some 8200 shit. Or 80.
So-
Or 80,
Yeah.
is it 80? I feel like it's unit 8300. And I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
I told you someone was gonna ask, where is the beer? Well, Scott,
Well, Scott.
we're running a little behind. We
And
didn't have
we're-
the time to stop and get beer.
Yeah, no beer. That's all right, though.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, Rose is in there. Awesome.
We just had a great week with Rose.
I love Rose. She's awesome.
DC313 was like extremely awesome this week.
I
Yeah.
was ill. I was at Penguin Con over the weekend,
You
and
had
that,
the PenguinCon thing, and that was like, I know that was awesome too.
It was awesome,
We
but-
need like a little rundown on that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to give us
nothing
Oh,
really.
We didn't even introduce ourselves.
Oh, yeah, that's
guys.
right. Oh, Tom Lawrence.
Xavier D. Johnson.
Maurice Nash.
All right. In case you didn't know who we were. In case you didn't watch 9 previous episodes, and this is your first time.
How you got hacked,
You should go
episode
like
10.
watch the other episodes.
Watch the other episodes. There's a link to the new channel. We're building up subscribers. On my vlog on Thursday, I think I got another 50 or 60 people to subscribe to it. So
Okay.
it's picking up. We're going to move this all to its own channel.
Yep.
But the way the YouTube rules work, we have to keep posting here because it takes time before they'll allow us to go live on a channel, before you can do a bunch of things. So we need you guys to subscribe, and then we're going to move all the content, and then we'll start doing the shows there. So I know it's 2 spots for some people to look for things, but it's not that hard. You can subscribe to 2 things.
Yeah.
Right? That makes
Like a
sense.
notification bell.
And maybe you don't like my channel, and you're like, I just only want to watch this, and now I can only watch this.
Or maybe that one guy who gives us the thumbs down. Just that one single. Maybe you're that one single person that just thumbs us down, and you just want to thumbs down us and not Tom. All right.
Yeah, that's a person too. There's definitely that going on.
Yeah, Patton, we're working on that overlay. It's coming.
Yeah. We were looking at it. I got to load some plugins. I am not an expert at the OBS streamable system, so I am learning it. I don't use Windows, and some people call me out like, I thought you use Linux and there's a Windows 10 computer. I'm like, yeah, OBS streamable runs in Windows. Sorry. Oh boy, you want to address that right there?
Uh-oh.
What about hack in the box? Pass or fail? Are we talking about the OSCP? Are we talking about the OSCP?
I bet someone might be asking about the OSCP.
I think somebody's asking about the OSCP. I failed. Number 3.
It's a serious cert. It's no joke.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
I got really close. Out of the 5 boxes, I hacked 3, and I ran out of moves. The only move I had was a Metasploit move. You can only use Metasploit once. Metasploit didn't work, of course, because it never fucking works whenever you need it. So, like, I've never gotten Metasploit to work when I needed it. It's the reason why it's a Metasploit minute and not a Metasploit hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. I had no more moves. I had a lot of weird issues. I don't want to rag on OffSec, but it was a lot of weird things happen connectivity wise. I don't know if you guys remember that Firefox had a huge browser extension outage directly in the middle of my exam.
Yep.
Screen Connect is a browser extension.
And it just everything kind of went wrong that day.
It was just not really an awesome day. I started the test hour and a half late. I got the first 25 points in an hour and a half. In the first 8 hours, I had 45 points, and that I only got 45 points. So, yeah, I will be back at some point after DEF CON, hopefully before wedding, because, life is moving at a pace in which, I mean...
There's like some other things going on in your life that you have to address.
A whole entire, life going on, so, yeah.
I mean, but it was a valiant effort. I think I still have faith. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
of course. I mean, yeah. It'd be being too hard on yourself to say you're not going to get it. Like,
Right.
Of course I'm going to get it, but it's just a matter of when. It always sucks when you probably should win something and you don't.
Yeah.
I feel like I had all the moves, I did all the things, and I just gotta try harder.
Try harder.
So let's just focus on try harder.
We have a question. It says, is the new channel already created?
Yep, the new channel is already
Yep,
created.
and link is in the description. I just replied to that right there. So,
Yep.
yeah, we're good on that. I caught a cold at Penguin Con, and I still am trying to. My nose is still running a little bit, so if I have my Kleenex over here, this has been. I was so miserable. I didn't go to DC3 I was like, there's a bunch of people here from Germany,
Yeah.
Europe,
Yeah.
and
Just all over the world.
place.
Yeah, all over the world.
Yeah, and they were there, and I'm like, man, I don't want to like spread the plague around the world.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah,
Welcome to
so-
America. Achoo.
I was
Yeah.
sneezing, runny nose, my face was all puffy. It's finally. Someone said you sound. I did a video yesterday. Someone's like, you sound really hoarse. I'm like, I am. I've been sick for 4 days. So you go around. There's 1,600 people at Penguin Con. It's a weird mix because you have Linux people, technical people, and then you have. Well, there were some furries, but that's a different topic. But there was, it's a sci-fi conference at the same time. So it's a lot of people there, and they're not all clean. And so they were all sneezing on people. And I don't know. I had a good time. Other than getting sick afterwards, I was well during the conference. Went to some parties, hung out with, if you don't know who Level 1 Techs is, Level 1 Tech, Wendell, hung out with him on Friday night, and Eric S. Raymond. If you never heard of Eric S. Raymond, he's original coder for a lot of the open source movement, wrote the book, essay called The Cathedral and the Bazaar. Check it out. It's actually really cool. Eric's there every year. So that was kind of fun. He's always an interesting person to talk to because he's been coding open source code for, since I was like 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he's original. Like he's like one of the founders of all the Linux Foundation and the open source movement is Eric Raymond. So he's a neat person to meet. A lot of history. And last year he said something really profound. So if you haven't read The Cathedral and the Bazaar, he wrote that in the 90s, and it's a look at how software development works. It's a set of rules. Excellent read if you're into software development at all. But we had a profound moment with Eric Raymond last year because we're like, so you ever going to write a part 2 to The Cathedral and the Bazaar? And there's a handful of us just talking, because he's, pontificating about code and everything else. And he kind of leans in, he points at us, he goes, you assholes. And I'm like, what? He goes, you're supposed to write part 2. I did my part. I wrote it. I wrote all this code. I'm old now. He goes, you're supposed to pick it up and do something. I'm like,
Basically.
That's a good point. It's like a 7-year-old hacker. What are you hacking next? He goes, ain't you youngsters learn anything yet? You're supposed to hack the next thing.
There you go.
Quit looking at me. I did my part.
Just want to say thank you. Is it Osmo?
It's Cosmo.
Cosmo. Okay.
Pronounced Cosmo.
Love it.
I'm not
Thank
really
you.
good with
I mean, he says it says pronounced Cosmo, so I'm gonna go with
it. You know what? Sorry. I didn't
Fundamentals.
read. Thank you, Cosmo. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Cosmo.
it.
Appreciate
Yep,
you.
Thank you.
So,
I seen someone say Woot Wendell. Go to Level 1 Techs. He's got a PenguinCon video. I'm the one introing it. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that.
There you go. And yeah.
So we had a couple questions. People want us to touch on the 3 antivirus companies that got breached.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is interesting. So we have hackers breach 3 U.S. antivirus companies. Researchers reveal this is a typo, I think, on this FXSMP method of operation. FXMSP is what I've seen their name in a few other places. I don't know which one's correct.
FXMSP is.
Yeah, so I think there's a typo at the top of this Ars Technica graphic they have right here. So this is really interesting, and it's actually part of the reason I chose the thumbnail I did, because think about this. This is kind of perspective of things. 1990s, they released The Matrix and Follow the White Rabbit. Well, what is Neo doing? Why do they knock on his door? It's because he has some illegal hacking software they want to buy. That's like so future thinking, right? But here we are. This is exactly the methodology by which these people make their money, is by selling access to software, selling the hacks. What makes this so interesting is the antivirus companies are what we expect to protect us,
Keep us safe.
keep us safe. So the fact that someone had access to their source code means they had at least some level of access to their internal systems, which that's where things get really scary.
Yeah.
It's not just the source code, it's the fact that they were in there in some methodology. That's where things go off the rails. And we don't know what companies these are, but didn't I see, let me Google this real quick. So CEO of Symantec resigned.
Oh, if that was true, that'd be a good link.
Wow.
Is that true? Did I hear?
DTY.
Yeah, 13 hours ago.
Oh.
I wonder. I don't know if these things are related. I'm not sure if they're related, but it does seem, after resignation as CEO.
I mean,
Nice catch. That's a good correlation.
That's pretty icky.
I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying these two things don't seem coincidental.
If you're looking for a job in leadership, Symantec is hiring.
Yeah,
All those executive recruiters will now be calling those CEO types.
yeah. So, and like I said, we don't know, and of course, a lot of people are going, "Please don't let it be malware bites." Please don't let it be malware bites. I seen someone post that, and I kind of laughed. I'm like, it's a risk having the source code of these things, but it's not one, it's three. That's the part that's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of data potentially.
It's a lot of data.
Let's be honest here, right? I want to break into something. Let's say I want to break into something, right?
Okay.
And I want to break into something big.
Yeah.
I know that they're going to be running one of these three.
Exactly.
So, like, if I find a 0 day in one of these three because I have the source code,
Now you become
it's over.
Well, if you import over the source code, you can find potentially more hooks the way they hook in there. And by the way, if you're wondering, like when the latest Windows update come out, let's talk a little bit how antivirus works. The antivirus companies have a hell of a time, and one of the reasons I recommend it to a lot of people just use Windows Defender is because Microsoft wrote it. And all these other companies don't have the access to Microsoft source code or setting things up in Ring 0. So they kind of have to reverse engineer things to get the antivirus in there. So they're using lots of like trickery and hooks to get into Ring 0 to potentially do this. Therefore, the antivirus companies are, those little tricks also have sometimes been the security breach point. There was a problem with Symantec. They were using, and this goes back a couple of years, for example, someone found out they were using an old version of 7-zip compiled into their Exchange server protection. So Exchange server, if you had the Symantec endpoint protection loaded on an Exchange server and you sent a malformed zip attachment to an email, you actually could compromise the server because it had an antivirus.
yikes.
And it would just do a full code execution on there. And it was a pretty major vulnerability. So knowing what these antivirus people compile into their software is going to be really interesting when it's released. So it's going to be a potential threat. It's going to be a lot of people pouring over it. But the bigger scary thing is the fact that someone was inside and had some level of access to these companies selling security software.
Yes.
So that's going to be really interesting. Everyone's digging for information. I've put my ear to the ground. Nobody has. And the problem is the guy won't sell until it's sold. We won't know. When it gets sold or someone raises money.
What is he doing? Like going up and down on a number?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going up and down on the price, trying to find a buyer for it. So that's gonna be.
You guys want to get together and pull up some money?
Yeah, I'm in $300,000. I mean,
Give us $300,000 inside of the YouTube chat if you want us to go and buy a copy of. No, can we do that?
well, hold on. Let's. How much did? So here's the part that I think stupid. They're only selling it for whatever it was being sold for. I think it was 300,000.
Yeah, 300K.
Yeah, 300 grand. But right here, the CEO was making 17.3 million was his compensation last year. So
See.
So it's pocket change for this guy. Like
this
literally,
is
he's
the
making
talk we
$18 million
have,
a
that-
year. Like if it was his source code, just buy it back and quiet everything down for that kind of money. I mean, he's well compensated. So it's actually, like you said, it's not a lot of money, and I kind of agree based on just what the CEO of Symantec
Who's
makes.
to say that he didn't already try and buy it back?
And they wouldn't sell it to him?
Or they did, and they're still like, yeah, it's an open market, though.
Oh.
Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just like, whoa, I got to
You
leave.
sell it to more than one person.
There you
It's
go.
software.
Yeah.
Software's fun like that. So
Oh, it's icky.
it's interesting. Supply chain attacks are, always the holy grail for things. And
Very best.
Yeah, and this is another example of that. So it's going to be very interesting. Thank you, Don Ware.
Thanks, Don. We appreciate
Oh, Don
it.
Ware, thank you.
Walmart data dump.
Oh, boy.
Well, you find a security flaw in a company and they won't do anything, and they're a healthcare facility, when they don't do anything, if you are responsible, like you are the person in charge of something where your butt's on the line for having that, the idea, and I think we talked about it in episode 1 or 2, they refer to it as the prudent man clause. You document, you send an email, you CC an external email address you have that you sent the email to bring awareness to the security problem, and then you basically get your little CYA, and when it hits the fan, and you go, no, I told you guys this is what needed to be done. Y'all ignored me, so that's the best way to deal with it. So there's not a better way, because I have a feeling that the folks over at Baltimore City. Yeah, Robin Hood ransomware takes Baltimore City networks. Basically, again.
What? Yeah, for the third time?
Yeah, I heard it's the third. Someone said second, someone said third. Definitely the second, probably the third. Someone internally said they had smaller attacks. So I guess, how big of an attack? This one took the city offline, so this is...
Baltimore's not that far away from D.C.
It took the city of Baltimore
that's
offline.
That's interesting.
That's more than interesting.
Yeah. Now, what really got interesting is when you start digging into, and I think I tweeted this the other day, if you start digging into it, they're using some really old equipment exposed. They have an entire 512 block of IPs, and I did a quick Shodan search. There's some really old exposed stuff on there, so it's not... This is a hard one to figure out how they got hacked, because I think there's so many holes in it.
Yeah.
Like, which thing did they take down? This expired thing or that expired thing? So I've seen a few people talking about poking at that whole block they have, and it's just filled with old, not updated stuff. And I'm willing to bet there is some IT person from the last time going, if you guys don't want this happening, and replace this, and some city council meeting said budget, and shot them down. And I said, all right. See you guys in a few months. We'll have the same conversation again.
Oh, it was just a city.
Just a city.
It's just a city.
With this...
what could you possibly need to do with city internet?
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's just a big disaster.
That vector is
why do you need a city network?
vast.
Kane, why do you need a city network, bro? You don't need a city network. Come on, man. This is nonsense. How can you not take... All right, I think that the city of Detroit... not very, very long ago, got hit with a ransomware attack, right? Wasn't it, 2015?
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
remember
about to pull it up for you. Well, you got control over it.
Oh, no, look at that City of Detroit ransomware attack. I didn't know we got hit.
While you look that up, I'm going to answer Benjamin Sturm's question. Actually, Xavier can probably answer better. What model ThinkPad was that?
Oh, man, that was a... oof.
It's the one before the light.
Nope. That's not going to help him.
Oh.
It was an X250.
X250.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm not well versed in
2014.
It was my baby before it was his.
Yeah.
I donated
It was
to
a
him.
gift.
2014.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love
Motor
this.
City Shrugs.
Yeah.
Take it.
We ain't got no money.
And
We were
2014, we
bankrupt.
didn't have money.
Yeah. We didn't have no money.
Right.
You could have asked any amount of money. We're like, we're in bankruptcy, right?
Yeah, like, whatever, take it.
Take whatever you want. Matter of fact, can you give us some money for it?
What is our data worth?
Could we sell
Can
this?
you resell this for me? Yeah, and so this is my city, and we have this problem too. So, I've heard of some issues up in Flint. Just as of recently. So,
Bitcoin blackmail backfire bungle. I like the title. So
there you go. That's
yeah,
sticky.
yeah. They you blackmailed the wrong people. You don't rob broke people. We'll throw that out there. these were not good hackers. That was,
Right.
We're gonna rob City of Detroit. That's a business plan, right?
Yeah, that wasn't smart.
They're in
idea.
bankruptcy, right? Now, speaking of dumb hackers,
Yes.
Dumb hackers.
dumb hackers. This
This
is
is something we all have touched on since episode 1.
Yeah, so if you know me, right? Because like if you know me in real life, and Tom has seen some of this just organically over the years of knowing me, in my days in which I was a little bit more aggressive against gray hats, as I like to call them. I don't know if this is black hattery or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I've done a bit of this, and I'm not ashamed to say it. If you're a skid and you're coming onto my network, or I find you on the internet and you're doing this, I'm going to do the exact same thing that this guy did in this story. Tom, you
Yeah.
want to talk? Do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So basically, what we have here is these are all the usernames and passwords and the type of botnet it was and the port that was open. By the way, a lot of them they didn't bother changing a port. 1791 is the default port for a lot of these. We have Emily and RAWR. Root school. I wonder if he was like, what is my password going to be? 420. I like that one.
There you go. Easy.
Jeff 123. All right, go Jeff. Wednesday, ho, ho, bullet, raw, gay. 337, 1337. That's my favorite one.
Oh, that's every.
Yeah. Look, I'm so elite. Watch me. No one will think of this as my password.
Yellow.
Yellow. These are so bad. This is actually, he's a security researcher. I'm not sure exactly how to say his name. It's something like Amkit. I'm not going to pronounce the last name. Some good research, and there's actually some good interviews talking about this. Matter of fact, his blog in general, and we'll jump over to the full blog. And this will all be linked below. I'll add this all into the show notes here. He's got a lot of good reverse engineering stuff that he started posting and interviews he's doing with some of the hackers. So this has actually been some cool stuff. I started reading this guy's blog, and I'm like, but this is the one that started me here was these bad passwords. But it's kind of funny to think these people are creating botnets and they're big bad scary and they're attacking you, and then this guy just logs in and is like root. Oh, okay. Let me just turn this off.
Basically.
And this is great. This is gray hat. You are technically breaking the law, but it's kind of like it's breaking the law legally. I'll say that much. But on the other side of it, they're not likely to report that. It's like someone calling the police. Someone stole my weed.
Right. The only thing where it gets weird, right? Because so he had to log in to the panel, and so the way the attribution works right now. Is still IP address.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Right? Researchers get doxxed about these topics, so let me be careful before someone lets everybody know my name is Xavier D. Johnson.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about you. You know who you are.
Yeah. I don't think he watches us, but...
B. Krebs, you don't think so?
No.
Come
He
on.
doesn't
Somebody
like
send
us.
him the link. Anyway, I mean, from my perspective, I just feel like, I don't know, this is it's hard for me to wrap my mind around just because kids are literally going on YouTube and learning how to stand up botnets and doing it poorly.
And there's instructions on how to do this. You can watch, there's YouTube tutorials on how to stand up a botnet. You can just buy a pre-configured botnet ready to attack.
So it's like some of this is like we're just doing a service, right?
Well, and I have a feeling that a lot of it is, if I had to guess, because this actually goes back to one of the employees I used to have, Joe had a bunch of money one time. I'm like, what'd you do? He goes, he sold his wide open, WoW account, World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I'm like, who would give you $2,000 for that account?
Oh.
He's like, oh, the guy wanted a couple items in there. And then the guy didn't even change the password. And we started finding out the guy's just some rich kid, billionaire son. If your dad makes $17 million a year, you don't grind away through the game. You're just like, Dad, can I have $10,000? Yeah, here. I'm going to learn computer stuff. Cool. Go be a computer kid. Here's 10 G's. So they can
be a computer kid.
Yeah. It's like those things. And I think that's what I bet a lot of these are just kids in, they got the get out of jail free card. Daddy's got a good lawyer for them. They go, I want to be elite. I'm going to put a password 1337. Go a couple Bitcoin on there. Go buy me a botnet. Because, my friend has got this Minecraft server I want to shut down. And I'm almost bet that's where it all starts, really, truly childish stuff.
Yeah.
I told you guys a couple weeks ago how I got into hacking was literally this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be able to click the button and kick people offline. And this is still a very, as you can see, it's still a thing.
And if you're a rich kid, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Dad just gives you a couple dollars.
Exactly. Back in my day, I had to make friends on the internet to be able to...
I had to actually learn and do things.
When I spoke about my Yahoo chat days, I would literally spend 12 hours making bots.
Kane, I wish somebody would give me $10K to be a computer kid too. Holy hell.
And it's one of those things, and maybe this goes to the whole ideology here. When you take the time to learn the code to build something, you have it secured, backed up, you got good passwords on it. When someone just goes, here's 10,000, and it means nothing, Whatever. I spent $5,000 on a botnet. I don't need a good password. Oh no, they took it over. Go create another one. Done. Like I got money. I don't know. I think it's one of those things like you value something a lot more. So it's probably part of the reason I'm thinking that there's not. Not just that they're bad. I think I don't know. I'm getting too deep into the psychology of it here.
I mean, but I'll put to you like this, right? The reason why I quit going out and doing this type of thing is, as far as like the taking down of C2 panels, it's because the moment you log in, the moment you get onto that panel, even if you are releasing host, you logged in. You are in there. Yeah, you're in possession.
Yeah.
The last person who has it is the person who has it.
Yeah.
And like that could be the day that the NSA or FBI or whoever the fuck wants to come and kick down your door because you just access the honeypot.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Only reason why I stopped making bots for Yahoo is because they stopped Yahoo Chat. If they still had Yahoo Chat, I would still be locking down the microphone and kicking y'all out the room. Sorry, it's too fun.
Someone's like, build a botnet on Daddy's Amex black card.
There you go.
But also speaking on that World of Warcraft thing, I saw a hacker who literally makes a living hacking World of Warcraft accounts and then selling them. Just like you said, your friend just wanted to get a couple items out of there. People will spend lots of money just to get one item.
I don't know. I have friends who buy like modded controllers to be better at video games. So like it never stops. It never ends. Remember, what was it? Mad Cats? Not Mad Cats. What was it?
Mad Cats.
Game Shark. Game Shark.
Oh, well, I'm a little older, so the first thing was a Game Genie.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
For the Nintendo.
Oh,
I had one.
God.
It came with a book this thick with codes in it.
Yeah, it's all about.
It was wonderful though. I mean, that changed my gaming experience.
Yeah, definitely interesting there.
I miss video games. A lot of us were hackers and didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Changing hex code and replaying things to be able to get infinite amounts of money, and there was just all types of things that video games have for you. Just
diving through the hex code on Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I changed the moped to the cool hoverboard from Back to the Future.
There you go.
Dude, and even in the emulators, it gets easier because you could get all the Game Genie codes, and I'm a huge, I've done a video on the RetroPie. I got one.
Okay.
I mean, you go in there, can add the cheat codes to the games and everything. That's just great. And it's kind of hacking. Sometimes it's just hacking to figure out what it does. You go through and you kind of you move the character, you do a binary, you look at it, you're like, okay, what changed between getting this coin and that coin, and you start reverse engineering it, and it's a lot of fun.
And then next thing you know, you're taking the OSCP and you're like passing hex at shellcode, and then you're like, oh yeah, like I know exactly how hex works, and you're like, I've been doing this shit since forever. Like that's not the hard part.
Just to comment on this, yes, Tom F. I was that guy in the arcade with a stack. I would go print out the moves list for Mortal Kombat and sell them in the arcade, $5 a piece. Kept me in business.
Yep. Now, hacking often begins with a lot of swearing, a lot of anger, a lot of aggravation to get it working. Mm-hmm. But I gotta admit, this kid's clever.
He's got the best one.
Yeah. Meet the Roomba that swears every time it bumps into something.
Yes.
That is so great.
Why is this my fucking life?
Didn't we touch on the bird scooters that curse?
Yeah,
they said really obscene shit. This is not so bad.
This is just swears when it bumps into things. So it's a swearing Roomba. This is so great, and this is the start of something. You know what I mean? I want robots to swear.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Swear bots.
I actually like this. It gave a robot a little bit of personality.
There you go.
Yeah, because the Roomba just goes around there. The only other thing that's interesting about Roomba is when it runs over to dog poop and then it kind of spreads it around your floor. like that's.
I am glad I have not run into that problem. Thank you for letting me know.
That's usually the Roomba fail videos you see, but this is like a more positive one.
That's pretty gross.
But I was thinking about this today.
He's so upset. I would be so upset just because, like,
because you got a dog.
Yeah, I got a dog, and so like I'm totally imagining like how this would ruin my life.
There's like a streak around your house where the
oh my god, they're just going and it's bumping to different shit. Oh boy,
I want to dig into. I was at Lowe's when we were building some of the parts for the studio, and they now have a robot mowing the lawn. It's like a little lawnmower thing. I'm like spinning blades and automation to find my yard. I'm like.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Let me just throw a mortar on. Like, no, not a mortar. What would you do? Something that on contact explodes.
But this is going to be a battle bot. I mean, it's like we got the beginnings of battle bot. We got the battery, we got the automation.
Take the shield off, and it's just
take the shield off, and you got blades. Just flip it over. So That's going to be like home invasion stuff. Like it just seeks out people.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Evan.
Evan,
Wow.
thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
We will have multiple rounds of beers with
We'll
that.
definitely make sure next week we have multiple rounds of beer. Thank you. We appreciate
Crab
it.
smearing is epic. Man, we should throw up some crab smearing behind us.
No, we're not
Let's see
going to
if
put
I
up
can get
any
it.
We're
crab
not doing
smears.
If I can't get a
anymore.
crab smear up there. Listen, me and Tom, we're going back and forth. I figure, if you want to give us like 10 Bitcoin, you can have remote control over the TV back here. But he thinks that you guys are immediately going to put on Goatsy. So
Yeah, it'll be goatsy in about 10 seconds.
But I figure, 10 Bitcoin. Rich today, poor tomorrow. That's how that works.
Rich today, banned tomorrow. When it's on the other channel, we'll have more fun.
There you go.
We actually had a couple other ideas too. These cameras back here are some unified cameras. I can set up RTSP streams, so you can have different views. Like people can jump in there. So I might set up a few things. Have a little fun. Xavier
Don't hack
wants
us
to do.
RTSP is scary.
Yeah, well, this is on a separate network, so you can just go tunnel right into it. The other thing we want to do is some call-in stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm super excited for.
We're gonna get those. I haven't done it in a while, but we're gonna set it up so the plugin will interact with the OBS streaming, which I'm pointing at it as if you guys know where that's at. It's on the other side of the camera. But yeah, we want to do that so we have some call in and we'll do some interaction. We'll Q&A. We'll have fun doing that.
We're about to get trolled hardcore.
Yes.
We're setting ourselves up for some trouble.
We are set. I DDoSed my phone system yesterday.
Whoops.
Yeah, I said.
Did you just take like one phone and then like flip them and just let them talk to one
them
another?
talk?
No, I'm on a live stream with 200 people, and I said, hey, if anyone wants to know what the greeting is, just dial my phone number. And I'm like, oh I just told 200 people to call my phone.
Python.dial. I'm sure it's something somewhere.
Yeah, so
Drink
somewhere.
beer and call Xavier Professor X. Thank you, Rampage.
Thank you.
Rampage. So back to the core of hacking.
Oh boy.
We had a great question from our good friend Fortress.
Fortress.
Thank you,
What's going on,
Fortress. Pretty active in the community. They asked, what's the best way for a business to keep up with CVEs? I think this would be a better question for you guys since you have done red and blue. I'm only a red team guy.
So for businesses to keep up with CVEs.
To keep up with CVEs, to update to the latest CVEs.
So I won't say that businesses should particularly keep up with CVEs per se, right? I think that they should take the approach of installing and patching when updates come out.
Yeah.
And that'll basically, solve the CVE problem. Usually a CVE will come out after
The patch.
a patch, right? It
Right.
never comes out really before. So you still have the 0-day problem, which everyone has,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then as far as like, knowing what's in and out of compliance, there's a multitude of ways to do that. Remote WinRM. What's WinRM? Windows Remote Management.
Yeah.
What's that? What's
The
that?
WSUS server or
There's an entire name for this space.
the ATP server or
No, there's a space in which endpoints are managed by some centralized server. I can't think of the name of it.
Well, the WSUS does that for Windows, and it pushes out the updates. We push them out with our RMM tool. We use SolarWinds.
There you go, RMM.
Yeah, RMM. We make sure more than Windows, we update any of the software on there that lets us know if one of the it even does things like if they're running SQL on a server, it can specifically say, hey, they're running an out of date SQL. Hopefully, that's not exposed to the internet.
Right.
But yeah, because an example is going to be the which we're talking about, the Atlassian product, that we just had an RCE. They had two of them actually. That you wrote the proof of concept for Confluence.
Yeah.
So Confluence, for example, the CVE came out after the patch. So it's not that you need to know the CVE, you need to know to patch it. And it took a few days. They give people a few days to come out there to hurry up and get this patch because there's like 62,000 public-facing Confluence installs that I could find. And this is a remote code execution. It's essentially a 0-day. So if they release a CVE and the proof of concept beforehand, it doesn't work that way. They release the patch first, then they go, oh yeah, by the way, this is why you should have patched. So you actually just want to make sure you're staying on patches. Now, the other side of that is going to be what we do for businesses when we take on a new client. We're going to start looking at equipment and evaluating if there's immediate updates that need to be done, because usually when we take over, it's because the previous IT company was not doing things, and we immediately found, recent takeover, just a bunch of things out of date, which is common. So we had to run around, start patching and updating all those things. So So that is a time when you may want to see if there's CVEs. An example is going to be, we had some sonic walls that the client was really slow to replace, but admittedly there was no CVEs on them. They were out of official support. And what I explained to them that means is, if there's a flaw today, it's still going to be there tomorrow and the next day and the next day, because they're not patching it no more. The good news is there are no current CVEs with this particular firewall, so you're protected until there is one, which means you're on borrowed time. So they're not going to patch it. If they found a flaw in it, they go buy a new one. Buying a new firewall is not necessarily a same-day project. So you kind of keep up with it from that end, not the other way around. They're good to know, and trust me, the hackers are certainly keeping up with them.
Of course.
Speaking from the red team, I manually go out daily and research this stuff.
Yeah, and the Atlassian one's a perfect example, because once you knew it was a directory traversal problem, once they released the CVE and the proof of concept, because we know what the CVE came out, how many days after they patched? Like a week?
Yep, it was 7 days.
7 days. So, and by the way, I'm willing to bet 99% of those servers that are public facing still are not patched, and it's now been, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, and
so
if you know something like I know something, even if they did patch, it didn't work. So.
yeah, patching is an entire
Because
process.
they didn't allow us to have a proof of concept to be able to validate. So there's that.
Yeah. So the whole thing's a mess. So it's hopefully it's a long answer, but it's kind of the overall answer for how to deal with some of that.
So maybe, Xavier, you can answer. What are some resources you use to keep your skills sharp on your skills daily?
Daily?
Well, I mean, we practice daily.
So I'm a security engineer.
Okay.
Right. So I actually get to do like penetration testing on the day-to-day.
In a professional work
Yeah,
environment.
and like at work. So like that helps. A lot of my time, I work in a research lab, so a lot of my time is spent doing research. So I can say some of the things that I spend the most time on that is aimed at sharpening my skills would have to be attack defense, the OSCP labs, virtual hacking labs, Hack the Box.
Yep.
And then I will say that beyond that, you got to go into VulnHub and tinker around with vulnerable VMs. Books are awesome. I'll be honest. Like I said, I have books that are inside of my public key base. I just added a new book to my arsenal. I'm about halfway through, called Car Hacking. If you are looking to get into something, I think car hacking will be something that you should be worth looking into.
Okay. Well, for me, pretty much the same thing. Since I'm work from home, I just Hack the Box, virtual hacking labs, VulnHub. A new one recently that I've been trying is tryhackme.com. And it's pretty good. It's all cloud-based, so you don't have to download too much. And it's just, research and trying it. Stay sharp.
Yeah, I think that the ability to stay curious, the willingness to explore, Showdown is something that can get you in trouble, so be careful.
Yeah. Showdown can get you in a lot of trouble.
I love Showdown, though.
There's a whole lot of...
Well, the nice thing about Showdown, and one of the reasons I used it for the research on the city, was I didn't have to ping their servers. Showdown had a list. It's publicly available. I linked to it. I think I tweeted out, just Showdown this. I didn't do anything. Showdown did it for me.
Yeah.
You're not using your IP address. I didn't have to scan the Baltimore IP range. Showdown takes care of that for you. So
exactly.
The Showdown, what is the Showdown account? It's like $50 a year or something cheap.
$50 one time or something.
Okay, I thought it was annual, but
I'm pretty sure I haven't paid Showdown since I paid Showdown.
Either I know I paid. Maybe I know I paid them. I don't think. Maybe I've never paid them again. I don't know. I would gladly if they charge. But don't. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But if they're listening, I'll give you guys $50 more. Like you guys get some great stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Slow down. Slow down. Maybe I'll start using other people's webcams. It'd be a shame if I had to scan the internet from my botnet that cost me $5,000 that Daddy gave me $10,000 for.
I won't lie. Using Showdown to find open webcams.
Done.
Yeah,
easy. I've seen grow rooms.
There's a lot of people that just turn webcams on. There's a guy in Poland who watches his sheep.
There you go. I mean,
when
the wolf comes and snacks one, at least you know.
Fried Programmer says, have you guys heard of the brain machine interface?
brain machine interface.
I can't say that I have, but I did just Google it.
Brain machine.
I guess it's like a link between, from what I just read briefly, it seemed like a between like AI, like I think that's like a brain interface hooked up to.
I'm afraid of that, bro. I'm not smart. That
No.
shit be fucking around and break something.
It's like next level.
So
I might fuck
2 years
around and break
ago,
something with my brain.
2017 Penguin Con, we had the head of research for University of Michigan, and they do the brain implants for people who are disabled, like broken neck, broken spine. And it's really interesting. The challenges are different than expected. It was an excellent talk at Penguin Con. She was one of the keynotes. It's not as easy as we think. It turns out our brains don't like things in it.
No, they don't.
So whenever she had the metal probes, they could only leave them in temporarily to get people to move their own arms and things like that. So it's going to be a while before we get to that. So it's a great in concept. It looks awesome every time you watch a sci-fi movie where they go, pop the little thing on there and it can read your thoughts. But it's much, much more challenging. We are further away than science fiction may make you believe from that type of interface.
How far are we away from the upload on the Matrix?
Yeah.
Where I could just,
plug
I
it
know
in.
Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu. Yeah, it turns out.
I think that we're already there. That is a Google query. Like, like Google Fu. Got it. Done. Life finished.
Well, and think about this. So is capable as this wonderful MacBook is that he's using, and powerful and everything, and the wattage it uses is like it's probably burning through about 80 watts of power to do all the complicated stuff. It still can't outthink Xavier, and Xavier's brain is probably using, I think the average human brain uses like 20 watts, and is able to calculate incredible things, hack computers, laugh, drink beer all at the same time. And somehow uses less wattage than this. So there are definitely differences between the digital world and how our mind works. And when they start breaking down some of the gaps, it's like we're further off than understanding than you realize.
So the brain computer is a neural control interface. So
Yeah.
it's basically,
So I'll put it to you like this. Chris Roberts, love that guy. Shout out to Chris Roberts. He has some really, really interesting work in this space where he's like starting cars with his thoughts and unlocking doors.
Oh yeah,
with
you
his
did
thoughts.
mention that.
So like he's doing some cool stuff in the space. But I can't say that it's any security researching. I don't think he's really gone into the security implications. I mean, of course he will at some point.
Yeah.
Because that guy is not going to leave any rock
No.
unturned. But there is discovery happening in that space at even individual researchers level.
Okay.
What's up with your website? I don't know. I don't even. It could be down. It could be up. Who knows? It's a static website. Some rando server. It goes up sometimes. It goes down sometimes. The email server works. I just have. I mean, like, hit me up on LinkedIn. Like, if you want to see stuff, hit me up on LinkedIn. Hit me up on redteamclothing.com. Shameless plug.
Yeah, redteamclothing.com. There's some good hackerware there.
Yeah.
Buy a T-shirt.
I'm pretty like if you want me to turn on my website right now, I can log in and flip a switch and it'll come on. But like, I'll be honest with you, DigitalOcean keeps turning me off because I won't pay them consistently. Like I'm just being honest. It just keeps going down. It's on a card that's like a privacy card, privacy.com. Shout out to Bo from Privacy. He's the man.
That's you?
Which is that's me. Which is a one-time, like a virtual card. I just always lapse. But that's up and that works. And,
so there are some
website.
clothing, there's shirts, there's I think you had a couple good ones here. So.
I got more stuff coming. I got book bags, I got leggings, I got bodysuits, I got coffee mugs, I got all types of stuff coming.
You see that black hoodie? Buy it.
Yep. So
that's the original hacker hoodie.
Go on there, give it a go.
We
got more stuff to do with it.
Yeah, this is we're shilling stuff here, man.
Yep.
this
So
is a shameless plug in here.
Give me some.
Give us ideas.
Yeah.
I like the site.
It's it needs some work, as everything does.
Yeah, it's all a work in progress.
All work in progress. I mean, I still have a real life job, so like this isn't like the only thing that I do. But like if maybe somebody went and bought something, I would be more inclined to just spend more time with it. Right? That's a dirty cow right there. If
I like the dirty cow.
Dirty cow. That was. I'm aging the site now, but that was an Equifucked is a really fun one because we all got Equifucked. And if you really want to throw your boss off, wear that one to work. That's a That's one of those ones.
I'm sure to get a call from HR like, sorry, we can't wear
You gotta have
these.
fun in your spare time doing this stuff. So
Yeah, you do. And you know what? Cloudflare watches the show.
oh yeah, we got a shout out from Cloudflare.
Cloudflare watches
That's
the show.
exciting.
They like my t-shirts. And shout out to them. AdBlock Plus is watching the show right now.
Yes.
A bunch of engineers flew into Detroit. They're still here until tomorrow. Very, very cool bunch of folks. We're about to go hang out
Lots
with
of
them after we
information.
leave here. So see you guys soon. Rosie, thank you for bringing them in town. Bash, thank you. Dude, you're fucking awesome.
Great
thank you
presentation.
for your presentation. If you don't understand how ad blocking works, then like you're losing, because it is some hardcore, almost like anti-malware level, cat and mouse, spy v spy, black spy v white spy. Like, it's really fucking hardcore. And he led us into just the tip of the iceberg.
You guys would imagine what
my god,
ads go through to get them to you.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
and the malware involved also.
I mean, malware. It's like, wow.
You know, maybe we can. They're gone though this Saturday.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. We don't have time to do any interviews with any of them then, really.
I mean, I'm hanging out with them tonight. Maybe we'll do something. We don't know yet.
Yeah. We can. Well, we certainly Rosie's available. So.
Yeah. Rosa Bash is always here. So.
Yeah, and she's quite. You know, she knows. She did an Nmap class at TC3N3.
She's got her master's from UMich, and she
knows her
used to
stuff.
teach over at UMich.
Definitely.
She's hardcore.
Hardcore. Now the last story we have is this one here.
NSA leaker.
Oh boy, not another one.
Not another one.
Golly, can we just have some secrets? I got a dog. You know what her name is? Etsy Shadow. You know why? Because you can tell your dog your secrets. She ain't gonna tell nobody your secrets.
So there's in 2015 the
Hey,
drone
Ursa.
papers, and this sounds like another case of less than operational security. And if you dig around on my YouTube channel, you'll find a video I did about the dots. And are you familiar with the dots?
No.
So the dots are a hidden printer code that is
the yellow dots.
The yellow
that
dots
are on the printer, and
Yes.
it lets you be able to identify any printer on Earth based
Yes.
on a special sequence of yellow dots that get
That has a
printed
serial
onto
number
the
in there.
page. Yeah.
Yes, and that's how they caught this person.
Of course, because it's top
So-
secret printer. That's how they catch all of them. What do you print? 60 some odd pages?
So when you think
There's always 60 some odd pages.
So yeah, 60 some odd pages. So if you always think it, I'm pretty sure it's what I see here. Yeah, charged with the crime. And now there's a lot of debate all the time on this, and I've talked to people, on the military, and I'm of this right here. If you take an oath, you work for the NSA, you work for the government, wherever you work, you do take that oath and say, I will not, share these secrets. But this is the but. You should always, 100%, Edward Snowden should face trial for leaking it. But there's the but again. You can ask the question, is it illegal to kill someone? Yes. But was it in self-defense? For any type of action, there's going to be an exception. This is how our legal system works. It works on precedence. It works on circumstance. So, yes, you should face the trial, but it doesn't mean they shouldn't dismiss those charges at trial. You still go through the judiciary process. So this person here, a decision will have to be made of the value when people leak information because the government did something. You should stand up for it. And as Edward Snowden is a very good example of, he said, look, you guys are not following the procedure for this. Therefore, I'm going to do my own procedure to leak the information
You
out.
gotta fight
And
for your right.
and here's the thing. Look at what's the world effect on Edward? Yeah, I know. The overall effect on Edward Snowden. Look at the history of it. What do we got? We have HTTPS pretty much everywhere. We have the Let's Encrypt, the EFF. We have all these different things that are pivotal results of how we changed how we think about things because he revealed over time all the things. Not to mention, he talked about the Ghidra, the NSA reverse.
Yeah.
Ghidra. He talked about that. What is the NSA doing now? They changed their position. They open sourced it. Do you think Edward Snowden had a little bit to do with that? Like, this is one of those things. Once it all got out in the open, all right, this kind of makes sense. And so I think the court of opinion on him, he did a lot of good. He did not put specifically, because this is where a lot of people, hang up on Julian Assange, is giving away the names of operatives is not just dumping secrets. That's dangerous. You can, to hurt people who may have been trying to help.
Yeah.
You can put people's lives in danger. That's not something you want to do. But, exposing that the government was doing something wrong that they denied, that happens. That's where you need some of these leakers to kind of keep check and balance. So it's an interesting thing, but it's all based on circumstance. It's not as cut and dry.
Yeah. I think that we need to have better modes to be able to how do I put this? Go against our authority. So like, in the IDF, they have, the Unit 8200 or whatever that is. They have two different, types of people that go into the IDF. Types of people who are willing to tell their leadership that they're wrong, and the type of people who are only willing to follow their leadership. And, when you really think about this, there's something special to being able to be opinionated and know a different way of thought or have a different train of thought than status quo and status norm. Mm-hmm. And so that should be, there should be some kind of method or some kind of mechanism that will allow you to be able to do that constructively without feeling like you need to leak secrets. Like there just needs to be a middle ground where you can still hold your country accountable for the things that it's not doing properly because of the people that's involved. Right. Not because that's what we want to be doing, but just because there's certain types of people involved.
And there's I have many military friends, and there's just so many gray areas when you're dealing with war is hell, and this is a cyber war that they're fighting. There are legit things to it. So Speaking
of cyber war, oh my god, dude, did you hear about how Israel fired a rocket into an apartment building? This is the very first time ever that there's been in-person contact in response, lethal force in response to cyber action.
And that's crazy. It's, they knew where they were, they attacked them, and that's real-world consequences. But, I mean, this is that crossover. It's not like people say, well, the future wars will be cyber wars. I'm like, no. Trust me, bullets ain't going away.
No.
Rockets ain't going away. This is another tool in the arsenal. We are cumulative in our war.
Future war is space, by the way.
Yeah.
All of the sci-fi movies let us know this. All right? We already are trying to stop the Russians from putting nukes into space so they could shoot straight down onto us. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So it is a big crossover between the two of them. So it's not like it's only that. So there's physical, real world consequences. They hacked. They rocketed. I'm not here. The entire debacle of Israel is not worth the political debate right now. It's not. It's way out of scope of this. Yeah. It's a mess over there, and there's going to be more of this. If it happened once, it only escalates.
It's going to get increasingly bad.
Yeah. So that was interesting. That's all we got for the show today. Is there any other questions that we didn't answer?
That's it. Anyone got any questions before we get out of here?
We can go get beer.
We got like $40 in beer money, so we'll definitely have beer.
We're definitely getting beer.
Yeah,
thanks to you guys.
Sure. Thank you. We got to get like a beer stash now.
I'll get a beer stash.
We got to get a stash.
We'll get a liquor stash. We'll get liquors and line them up for the next show.
Oh boy.
We can maybe do some shots.
Patent Lobster.
We'll probably be setting up, just so you guys know, with the new channel, when we get it all set up, we'll have a Patreon and things like that dedicated to it. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons we're putting it all separate from Lawrence Systems. It's going to be like its own thing. Cybercrime's going to you wants a huge... Yeah. There's so much mess. So much mess. Well, join the chat room. Join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord.
Follow us on Twitter.
I'm active on Twitter. In the Discord.
What's your Twitter?
My Twitter is OffSecMo. OFFSECMOE.
My Twitter is Infinite, INFENET.
Yep, and mine's in the show notes. It's always in there. I can throw theirs in there too. So, all right.
Oh, hold on. One person asked me, what is my sticker? This is a Dynatrace sticker.
Dynahacks. Hey, I wonder who works for Dynatrace.
I wonder how we got all these Dynatrace stickers on our laptops.
I'm the only person without any Dynatrace stickers.
Because you work there. You're like, I don't need stickers from a place
I don't know if nobody noticed that I'm doing a completely different laptop than I usually do. Anybody notice that? Nope.
Oh, I got to address someone in the comments. Someone's like, why do you put stickers on your laptop? Isn't that childish? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a child. What the fuck?
We're a bunch of children breaking things.
Yeah, basically.
Dude, do you not believe in like Michael Jackson's philosophy on you never grow up?
If someone were to sit down across the table with me and open up your laptop and tell me they were a hacker and they were going to help do a security audit and they didn't have stickers like this, I wouldn't believe them.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
TTYL.
Literally, if I grew up, if that was childish, I wouldn't be a hacker. If I gave up childish things and I grew up, I wouldn't be a
I have
hacker.
stickers at home. I'm waiting to buy new computers for it. Get the hell out of here.
Stickers waiting for you to buy new computers. That's great.
Serious.
I know. I'm running around grabbing swag when I go. I'm like, stickers.
Stickers, please.
I'm 40-some years old and I still like stickers.
Yeah. So if you see us and we like stickers, send us stickers. We want
do like
stickers.
stickers.
We like
Yeah,
stickers.
send it to the office address. We're doing this at my Lawrence Systems office, so the address on the website, lawrencesystems.com, just whatever you want to send there.
There you go.
You can't send liquor.
I have a place you can send liquor to.
Okay.
And we'll put them inside.
Well, I don't mind if you send it, but it turns out the state of Michigan's got rules against it.
Oh.
I have a place you can. I wonder if the state of Michigan rules apply in Highland Park. Doubt it.
Just once you get inside of Detroit, a lot of rules don't apply.
Oh yeah.
It's a little interesting.
Once you get here.
All right.
All right.
But that's the
it.
show, guys. Thank you.
Later.
Cool. All right. And then